Xavi Simons, the Chelsea Football Club. Here we go. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock and if you've been keeping up with the transfer market rumors, you would know that Chelsea have entered the race for Xavi Simons, and he has also opened his doors, as said here by Fabrizio, to Chelsea after direct contacts with his camp. Club to club talks will start from Tuesday as Chelsea Leipzig will discuss deal conditions. For the Chelsea, the deals depends on outgoings. Arsenal also remains keen, but Goikress and outgoings are a priority. So, as you can see here, you barely could have seen because so big. My head was so big. My apologies. But yeah. Chelsea are thinking about getting Xavi Simons. Now, I always heard about Xavi Simons, especially in the 2010s, when I was growing up. You would hear about the rumors of the next upcoming Wonder Kids. We heard about Lamine multiple times growing up. Xavi multiple times growing up. So, you already always knew this kid would he had bucket loads of talent. We always knew Xavi Simons had bucket loads of talent, and coming out of La Masia, you're gonna have a technical player, a player with high football IQ, and over his career, he hasn't really exploded or has had such a monumental start to his career, for instance Yamal or a Messi, but he's been always someone who people expect to explode. He went to Paris. He couldn't really get a start in Paris, so he went to he ended up getting a loan deal in Leipzig and ended up transferring to Leipzig, where he started to get a good breakout season. And now he's looking to make a move to the Premier League. Now, do I think Xavi Simons can perform at the highest level in Premier League? Yes. We've seen in the Champions League when he performs against high level teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG. He can hold his own. He can perform at a high level. The only thing is Leipzig, they're a selling team. They're not a team that are competing for the Champions League for their league year in and year out. They're like the Brighton of the Bundesliga, right? So when it comes to Leipzig, he knows that he's not gonna be able to really compete for the highest trophies in world football. So that's why he wants to come to the Premier League. It makes sense. Now Chelsea, where will he be able to fit? We already know that Cole most likely starting the season will be our starting 10. But because of Xavi's versatility, same way that Cole and Morgan Rogers has really good versatility, he can play on the left wing as well as 10. And I believe it or not, I believe he can also do a job at right wing if I'm not mistaken. I believe he can work on both wings because he's a really technical player, right? So with Xavi Simmons, seeing him as our backup 10, backup left winger, because I still don't believe he starts above Gittins. Gittins is a really good prospect in terms of left wing, in terms of underlying metrics, and his output has been also up there. So in terms of young and upcoming talents that's coming in his position as a 10, I can see it working, but especially because we're going to be playing a lot of football next season, and I think it can really strengthen Chelsea. But it's really to be desired to be seen how he does on the left. I want to say how he does on the left because I I never really looked at Xavi Simons as a left winger. I went to Data MD to check his underlying metrics compared to you know players of his same profile. Creative players that can also get you a goal. And you can see here he really he kind of holds up really well to Morgan Rogers. Him and Morgan Rogers are of the same ilk. As you can see here, his metrics are way higher than most of Rogers' metrics, underlying metrics. So you can see that Xavi's in a way kind of you could say he has a higher ceiling. You could say he has a higher ceiling than Rodgers, and that will be. This is going to be interesting to see if we're going to go for both, because you know that Chelsea's also in the race for Morgan Rodgers and Xavi Simons. But at first I was a little bit skeptical. I wanted to say go with Morgan Rodgers because he's Premier League proven. But when you have a player coming up in La Masia, does he necessarily have to be Premier League proven? If you're coming from one of the best um you know academies in world football, if they're coming from an Ajax, if they're coming from Benfica, La Masia, it, I mean that's pretty much Prem proven. That's top 5 leagues proven. They can they can perform on the highest levels if they're stamped by that said academy. If you ask me, so I'm not really worried about Xavi Simons finding his feet in the Prem. I'm more along looking at output. How much assists can we get out of this kid? Because as you can see, his assists are up here, but his numbers, they kind of don't really like. Cause when I was checking up his stats, they didn't really correlate. Let's go to his transfer market stats real quick. Let me bring him up. Be quick with this. Current season. All right, so this is the season that just passed for Xavi. 8 assists. With a striker like Sesko, I thought he would have gotten a little bit more assists, especially off of crosses. But from watching him play, you could say this team kind of held him back. So I want to see. I definitely believe that looking at these metrics, they can even rise to compete with Cole, especially when it comes to non-penalty goals, XG, and assists, because he has a lot more, like you could say, surefire options when he had either in a Esteval making a far post run, you have a João Pedro or a Liam Delap in the box, two strong, tall, athletic strikers, especially in João Pedro. He can finish headers. His heading is underrated. And then you have someone like Cole Palmer that could be ghosting on the box, as well as Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo, all goal threats from outside of the box, and Enzo and Cole being goal threats whenever they're bombing in. So I do expect his assists to really skyrocket if he's gonna be our not doesn't even have to be our starting left winger, but a left winger on our team. I'm not really against this move, man. I'm excited for it. If For me, him and Morgan Rodgers are basically neck and neck in terms of ability. I believe Morgan Rodgers is a little bit more direct. Simmons, he's more technical, and he's really good at keeping up possession. But they're really similar profiles. It's not like you're gonna find too much different from each other. I do think this is a good move. If you can, because Morgan Rodgers is a little bit on the expensive side, because he's like what the only like really talisman player that Aston Villa has. So it makes sense why they want to like put such a crazy asking price on him. It only makes sense, and he's also prem proven. So yeah, I say if the next best thing is Simmons, I say we get Simmons. Chelsea gets Simmons. They get a good goalkeeper that can give Robert Sanchez competition. Get in Joel Hato, and yeah, I'm looking forward to starting this Premier League. I'm looking forward to seeing how this can go, man. Like, and get the outgoings out there, and yeah, UTC, man, up the Chelsea, man. Make sure you guys follow me on X. All the links are in the description. Follow me on all socials. Make sure you guys follow me. Get me to a 10,000 on all socials, and Yeah, man, this is what I think about the Xavi Simons. This is how I really eyeball most of like the trades. I go to the stats, watch some of his all action comps, not highlights, all action comps against top teams, and then I make my decision from there. It's not really rocket science. It's football. You don't have to make it too complicated. I think he's gonna be a good fit for the team if he comes, man. I think him, especially with him and Joel Hato on the left, that's that Dutch connection. That's that Dutch connection, especially going down in the future. And they're very like their level is not too much of a drop off in terms of our starting profiles. It's not really a drop off. Jamie Giddens is going to be a goal first type of winger, and if we're gonna because we're gonna be playing Simmons in left wing and 10, depending on what profile is needed for the game. Then we have Simmons as our backup left winger and our backup 10. So he's gonna be because for a player of his ilk, he's gonna want a lot of game time, and with him we get like a creative player that can also bag a goal. So I do think Simmons might end up taking that starting spot from Giddens, just because of like the technical ability that comes with him. You know, Giddens is gonna bring that athleticism to the table, the aggressiveness. He's also very technical as well. He comes from the Man City Academy. Hey man, I'm really excited to see this new Chelsea system with these new profiles coming in, man. I want to see how we do, especially against top sides. I want to see us against Liverpool, this new Liverpool side, this new Man City side. Going into the season now, I'm not scared anymore. Last season, I was kind of scared. I would hold my breath. It's like, oh man, I don't think we really had the chance against the top six. Now I know we have a chance against the top six, and I know we can win a game against the top six. We can win. This Chelsea team can win against the best team in the world once Chelsea is playing their best football. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This football, these new watch alongs and hate alongs that we're gonna have this season is gonna be interesting, man. Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about the Xavi Simons to Chelsea or Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. In the comments, who do you think Chelsea should get? And which goalkeeper you think Chelsea should go into beat competition for Robert Sanchez? Because we already know we're gonna get Hato for center back, left center back, and left back. So for cover for Kukurea and cover for if I'm not mistaken, Colwell. So we're gonna see how this goes, man. Don't forget to smash up the likes. Let's try to get like 50 likes on this video, and see y'all later, man. Y'all know the vibes.